Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Doomlings, which is going to be a fast-paced card game for 2 to 6 players that plays about 20 to 40 minutes. In this game, you're going to be trying to survive your species to worlds, and you're going to be gaining traits throughout the game to try to do that by protecting your species or attacking your opponent's species or just overall comboing for points at the end of the game. So let's go ahead down the table. I'm going to show you how to play Doomlings, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Doomlings. Now, Doomlings is a game you're going to be playing through, and you're going to be trying to have as many of these cards out here as possible to gain as many points and bonus points by the end of the game here. And the way that you're going to set up this game is you're going to shuffle up your traits deck here. You're going to go ahead and shuffle up your age deck here. And you're going to shuffle up your catastrophes here. So there's going to be a bunch of catastrophes that can happen throughout the game. And the game's going to go through 3 different ages of the game. Also, you'll have your Birth of Life card, which is going to be the first card that's going to flip. But the way that we're going to set up your ages deck here is we're going to take your non-catastrophe cards, we shuffle them up, and I'm going to deal out 3 into 3 sets. The rest of these are going to go back into the box for now. Then we're going to take our catastrophes, and we're going to deal 1 catastrophe into each pile here. All right. Then we're going to shuffle up these piles here, and we're going to place one on top of the other. And we're going to go ahead and place the Birth of Life card on top. And that's going to make up our Ages deck here. So we have our trait deck ready. We have our Ages deck ready here. We're also going to place out these gene pool cards to each player, and each player is going to get a handy reference card. Now, the gene pool cards here are going to start on 5, so you're going to place them here. So as time goes by, your gene pool is going to increase or decrease, and this will be individual to each player. Then you're going to deal out 5 cards to each player. All right, now we're ready to play the game. So how do you play the game? Well, someone's going to be the star player, and that's going to be the person to the left of the dealer who dealt out the game. That person is going to remain the first player until a catastrophe appears, and when the catastrophe appears, the person to the left will be the next first player. All right, so the way this is going to work is that first player here is going to flip over the first card. Now, with the Birth of Life card, you have your rules on the bottom here that you're always going to do. We're going to show another age here in a second, but this one here, just set your gene pool to 5, which is correct, and you can play 1 trait and stabilize to end your turn. And what that means is I'm going to play 1 trait from my hand, so I have all these cards here, and these are the different traits. Now, with the cards here, they're going to have a couple different things going. They're going to have your colors going to denote different types here. You're going to have your point value on here, and some of them are going to have variable point values, like this kidney. The value is equal to the number of kidneys in your trait pile, including this one. You could have some here with other abilities here, giving an opponent 1 card from your hand. So when I play that, I will be doing that. At the world's end, play another trait, ignoring its action. So I wouldn't be able to do the action part of this. Now you'll notice that these have little A's underneath it to show that they're action. Here's some more at the world's end. This one here, discard 1 card from your hand. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, you're going to probably want to cycle through your hand here to get like combos, and you don't really have a normal discard mechanism in this game, so at the end of your turn, you're going to be drawn up. So if I play sweat, so now my creatures can sweat, at the end of my turn here, I'm going to look and see what my gene pool level is. And whatever my gene pool level here is, I'm going to draw up 2 or down 2. So, or keep the same if I equal it. So if I have 4 cards here and it says 5, I'm going to draw 1 card. Now, if I had 6 cards in my hand and my gene pool is 5, I would have to discard a card and get down to 5. If I had 5 in my hand and it was the end of my turn, I keep just the 5 cards. I don't draw any more cards. And we're going to keep on going. Everyone takes their turn. And then the first player again is going to flip over the next card. What's going to happen here is you're going to immediately do this. Draw 1 card after you stabilize. So that's the new rule for the round. You're going to go through, do it again. First player goes. You're going to keep on going until you hit your first catastrophe. When you hit your first catastrophe, you're going to have the thing for the round, but you're also going to have this world end thing. The world end thing, you're going to ignore for right now because the only one that counts per the normal rules is going to be the bottom part. Now, there are cards that change this. So the last, other than that, the last catastrophe is the one that's going to set this off. And these could be really nasty. So if this is the world's end one, you're going to discard 1 blue trade from your trade pile, which is pretty mean. So this round here, you're going to have -1. Now, catastrophes are always bad. So this one's going to make everyone lower their gene pool by 1. So I'll go down to 4. And discard 2 cards from random at your hand, So I'll have to discard 2 cards randomly from my hand, and they'll go out. And now the first player is going to be the person to the left of the previous first player. And we're going to keep on going, placing out these cards, trying to create sets. You can see that some of them have really cool point values, affecting other people's sets, and having a lot of fun with that. We're going to keep on going until we get to, and you could set these catastrophes off to the side here. So you have 1. So basically, the way I think it does is you should have this set here. That's the first catastrophe. Start a new age. Keep on going. Whoops. Yeah. Where'd my deck go? It's in my hand. Keep on going until we get to the next catastrophe. And now everyone has to do the bad catastrophe part. We're going to switch the first player and go through a round. Then we're going to keep on going. Galactic Drift, Tectonic Shift, Alien, and then we have our last catastrophe. So when this last catastrophe gets flipped, the world ends. There's no more rounds, turns. It's just over. So we'll go through to this world's end thing at the bottom here, which in this case is everyone has to discard 1 purple trait from your discard pile. And we'll go ahead on to scoring. And for scoring, you're probably going to want to grab a pen and paper, and you're going to go through and tally up your points. You're going to have straight up points here from either positive here or negative. You're going to have some variable points here based on criteria that's on here. And one thing I didn't mention, and which you're going to get throughout the game here, are dominant traits. The dominant trait's going to have a star in the corner here, and you could have up to 2 dominant traits. Dominant traits are really cool because you can, like right here, you can never get rid of them. So other people can't get rid of your dominant trait. It'll be there for the whole game here. So this one here is just straight up 4 points, but other than right here, other than have abilities. So you have symbiosis. No one can make you discard this. No one can make this go away. You have it forever. You only have 2 and you can't replace them. So be careful which dominant traits you put out, but there's not, there's enough, there's a few dominant traits in this deck. So pretty much whatever you get, you're going to want to put out. But this says +2 for every trait in your lowest color count. You must have 2 or more colors. If there's a tie, pick one. So this is really cool. A lot of them have abilities. This one's straight up 3 points too, also at the end of the game. That's going to be another thing that you're going to add up for your score. The person with the highest score at the end of the game is going to win. However, what if you have a tie? In the rare case of a tie, you're going to leave it up to fate. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip the top card here and apply it to your final score. So I would have got 3 and my opponent would have got 2 here that I was tied with, so then I win. So that's how the ties are broken in Doomlings. A couple clarifications. There's going to be action effects So these have an A on the bottom here, and they're going to do something immediately when you play. There's going to be trait effects. Trait effects are going to be something that just is. So in this case, it's just end game scoring, but something that it lasts throughout the game. There's going to be other ones, but they don't have the little A underneath them. You also have your age effects, which are going to be the effect that's going to occur for the age here. So this is play this age in reverse. First player's last, and last player's first. So that's what that's going to do. So you have those three different things going for you. Also, the colors, if you ever want to learn about the colors, these are red, these are sparks, these are clouds, the purple here are honeycomb, we also have green vines here, and the gray cards that we had some up here, I don't know where they all went, the gray cards right here are going to be crags. So those are what the colors mean in the game. Not that that matters so much, but it's just neat. All right, so if you ever wonder if there's a rules conflict, how that works, the way it works is ages are number one. So ages beat everything. Next is going to be your traits, and last is going to be the survival guide, which is the regular rules. So that's going to be how that works out. And that is Doomlings. Let's go ahead back up the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on this game. All right, so that was Doomlings. Now, Doomlings card quality is really great. Really what you're looking for in a card game that is going to be played a lot. These cards are going to last a long time, which I really appreciate. If you want them lasting forever, you just gotta need to sleeve them. But either way, card quality great. Love the art of this game. The art in the game is amazing. I love how it's a little punny with the different traits that you can get in the game. I love the gameplay of placing out those traits, having either the action or not an action. Super easy to teach to people. If it has an A, it's an action. If it doesn't, it's just something that happens. Really easy to teach. Super intuitive game here, so you can play with younger kids here. It's just a really easy game to get into, and a game that you can just plop down and play with friends and family with very minimal explanation of the game itself, because it's mainly offloaded into the cards. You just got to go over the couple things that I showed you earlier, and you're ready to go. So if you're looking for a good family weight game that has a mild amount of take that in the game itself, I highly recommend picking up Doomlings. I think this will be a game, especially if you like the theme, a game that can see a lot of replayability. Definitely goes into a wider audience, so you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be willing to play this game, which is really important. But that's my thoughts on Doomlings. Thank you for watching.